Rhythm. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.
Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, welcome to everyone here at the weekend finale of our MCF Cowboys chats here on the nightly. And guys, of course, our game signed, sealed, and delivered on Thursday, Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has had a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Family members, loved ones, and on and on. So
it's probably back to reality for most of us here in just a few hours.
Tomorrow it starts again. But guys, so does the grind on our Cowboys, and we're going to talk about.
It might be a Sunday, but it's more like a Cowboy Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday, with a quick turnaround. It's almost like that. So we'll talk about how it was for our Cowboys today, while everybody else pretty much in the league played today. So we'll go through that and more here at My Cowboys Family. But baby, tonight is the finale for the week. That means we're going to crown some new, maybe some same champions here at My Cowboys Family. But baby, kick it in this week, and maybe the last time, maybe here for a longer time. Let's shout out to people that rep the board, starting with the man. You know why he's here.
Snug X.
Yes.
A huge shout out to him as the sponsor of the week and the current Cash App King representing. Speaking of representation, a big mahalo to the man Mark Hosepian, who's coming into tonight with some Micah Parsons love.
Ooh,
11 points on the stream, boss. And of course, Jason Renfro, a tip of the hat to the membership king.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys. And when you look at who's leading this week, Jason is in second place on the gifting board. I think we got Skeptical and Indian Boogie with 1. Then we got Mr. Jason Renfro with 3 this week. And Mary Alvarez with 5 on it. Deron Bland had 5 on it. So much love to Mary, who's trying to break that streak Jason Renfro currently is on with 2 weeks in a row, like our 90s Cowboys. And then, of course, when you look at the overall board and the Cash App board, the leader is the same guy you see on your screen. It's the man Snug X, as you see over there. Zach Luna is in second place, but Snug X is in first on that board. I think Jason Renfro was in second on the Cash App board. Snug X yesterday, post-stream, the MCF After Dark, dropped some love in there, bunch of love, and he is in first place, of course, on the overall board and the Cash App board. We also had Marissa Sparkle, who dropped a little love yesterday as well. For the family here on our After Dark channel. So she's also up on that board. You may see her up in there in 6th place there, right behind Jason Renfro. So much love to everybody with the drops pre-stream. And then we got our first kickoff here, drop in stream from Jason Renfro. We just talked about the great Jason Renfro. He dropped the $1.78 holler, and he said, "Go Cowboys!"
Always go Cowboys.
Much
Thank
love.
you, Jason.
Yes, appreciate you, Jason. And I'm sorry, Mark was 6th. 7th is Marissa Sparkle. Much love to everybody on the boards. And Jason, he's still, on the high end of all our boards, as he always is. Mark Hosepian goes to 9 points. And we're going to talk about number 9 today. Not Romo, like last night. We're talking about Cavante Turpin, the current number 9 on our Cowboys. And, some things that maybe Mike McCarthy's looking at and implementing him in our offense. More than just a returner, as you saw this weekend, or this Thanksgiving Day game against the Washington Commanders. Anyways, that's the pre-stream. That's the in-stream. Let's also remind everybody how you can help this stream and every stream on our channel here with a little love from above. Like, you got the super chats. You just saw it there. Mm-hmm. Gifting memberships. We discussed that. Also, just jumping in any of our 4 level of memberships. And, of course, the thanks button for the videos afterwards. But there's 4 ways if you want to battle in that, not just the overall board, but in that Cash App side of things with guys like SnugX, who's currently repping that top spot, maybe back-to-back on both boards, like our 90s Cowboys. But how are some ways they can drop the love through there?
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right. Like I said, the memberships, much love to everybody on there. Of course, we have our monthly Star and Over Everything level membership, but we also do the nightly shout-outs for the Star and Over Everything level memberships. So let me kick it off right now with the family, like Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Post, Marissa Sparkle, The Lunatic, and of course, Over Everything, Seabass. Much love to him and everybody on our Star and Over Everything nightly shout-out board. Appreciate everybody, and I hope you guys all enjoy the perks. There are going to be some big perks coming here, the Lunatic style, in the next week or so stay tuned for that if you're in any of the level of membership here on My Cowboys Family. Now, let's also shout out those people who are in the house here with us, like Jason Renfro dropping another $2 holler right there, and I think we had an even quicker, it was jumped there, but it was the man.
It was blocked out there by Jason's.
Cowboys Mosh in the house. Much love. I'm just about to shout out his jersey situation there. Much love to Cowboys Mosh with that $2 holler. What do these two ballers have to say, baby?
Well, Jason Renfro started it with, let's run the table, get the number 1 seed, and go Cowboys. Thank you, Jason.
Nothing could be better. Again, we still need the Eagles to lose twice, and they didn't lose today. And they didn't lose last week, and that kind of sucked.
So, and yes, Mr. Moshman said a super chat. Okay, let's go. Dallas Cowboys for life.
Yeah, so much love to the Moshman. Even if we got to get the rules straight on things here. But I will say...
Let me take a second here to let Mr. Moshman know that the next time that he decides to, maybe show the MCF address in any capacity, that's going to be a problem. I don't care.
Right, there was that situation, which...
Everything
it's on the
else,
After Dark
I know,
stuff.
everything else is I know. I'm just saying, since I don't usually get the chance to.
Yeah, you went to bed early.
Moshman
You went to bed early before all that. But yeah,
yes.
I mean, again, that's for the After Dark specials.
So anyway,
I will say also shouting out the Mosh Man. You see the Star level membership jerseys, Over Everything level membership jersey. Either way, you get in. If you're in the membership on the monthly, we have we raffle off one of the Cowboy Mosh jerseys, your guys' choice of multiple different guys that it could be. You can, choose from new and old, legends, current players, Deron Bland styles, all those. So much love to everybody. Much love to Cowboys Mosh for that. And also, go Cowboys. I was always here. Baby, let's shout out people in the chat tonight. Who's in the house?
Of course, we have to shout out thank you to Matt Persico coming through. Mike Aldana, much love. And yeah, guys, again, shows up okay on my side. If it is buffering on your side, best suggestion is just close the stream, hop back in.
Yeah, it should be
good
all right.
to go.
Looks
seems
good
like
on our side here. Yeah.
Everyone else is good, right? Seabass, Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Bruce got the toxic juice saying the Seahawks are going down. And there's Jason's dollar holler, go Cowboys.
What's up, Jason, in the house with that dollar holler? What are he said they go Cowboys as he always does. And he also says, let's get that 6 and beyond.
You know it. Snug X, much love. You know why he's here.
You know
we have Asmodeus in the house. What's up? Kind of rolling back a little bit more. Let me keep rolling with Dustin Roberts. Sarah Small, hopefully you're doing well. Doing good. Hey, she had... so she's basically like, sorry to see Leonard go, but he'll probably do better for you guys anyway. So, Dallas Cowboy 92, what's up? Hello and hi. Grimbot, yeah, definitely sick of the She-Goals as well. That was a very, very, very disappointing ending to that game if you were watching it and you were on the anti-Eagle side of things. So, Chase the Goat, hello and hi. Alonda Hanslu, much love to you, even though you have great taste in husbands and not so great taste in football teams. It's okay. We'll forgive you for that.
F the Dolphins, but go Cowboys.
Look, I'll say F the Dolphins when it's time. We haven't even gotten there yet. Give us a chance. So, no, I think that's everybody here as far as I can see. Let me see. Double R. Yeah, I can't go back any farther, so let me come back down. I think, 808 Cowboy, much love to you. We got Raul. Yeah, the Eagles, and this is what I meant by the Eagles. Yes, on one hand, the Eagles are a good team, whatever. But on the other hand, man, they're just really fucking lucky. And the football luck just does not fall that way for other teams.
Do they cause their luck, though?
Again, very talented teams and well-coached teams can create their own luck. Absolutely do. But this, we all saw it. This goes even beyond creating that luck. It's just straight up freaking football luck. I don't
and
even
no
like
calls by the refs.
it.
I'm gonna bring it up here. We're gonna kick it off with that. But
Jason
first,
Renfro, by the way, does officially take over the stream boss.
Oh, that's true.
With a $6 holler.
Ooh, much love,
Huge
Jason.
shout out, Jason Renfro.
Little mini
Appreciate
takeover
you.
here.
Love.
He is still down on the gifting side of things. I think he needs 3 gifted memberships to get into first place over Mary Alvarez. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, and throwing out there because the Cowboy Mosh, man, came through with another $2 holler saying, smash those likes like we want to smash Seattle.
The She-Gals.
Smash.
Much love, Mosh. You know how we do it here. There's always some shit talking when it comes to the opponent coming up. Like, if you look here, Cowboys Mosh talking about the smashing Seattle. We got the Sea Chickens. We got this
All sorts of
toucan
roasted
sand. I don't
fowl around this Thanksgiving holiday,
yes,
right?
a lot of birds eating
yeah,
here.
we roasted the turkey. Now it's time to roast.
I want to see some Seattle sea tears over there, and of course, we got to put them to. We got to end their misery, if you know what I mean.
You're not even
Chop
a real
them fucking
bird.
heads open.
They're not even a real bird.
Sea chickens, come on. Drop the emoji if you got them. I see them dropped right now as I'm speaking, so appreciate everybody in the
Hannibal
house.
King saying, lucky motherfuckers. Oh, man.
Listen, they are lucky. It sucks. Let's get rolling. Should I get
Yeah,
going?
let's go ahead and touch on it. Because obviously today was a bit of a sad football Sunday with no Dallas Cowboys, even if we are resting, recuperating, recovering from that Thursday game.
And still, again, I'll go through the practice today because the Cowboys, it's a Wednesday. Usually you get the pads on a little bit. Sometimes it's a quick turnaround. It's a walk through or jog through. That's more what the Cowboys did today. A jog through with no real injury. Official updates out there. I think they could maybe push it for tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But either way, the Eagles, a lot of teams played today. I'm not going to go through all the games. You guys watch them or know the scores. But the one that matters for the Cowboys and our fan base is, keeping an eye on the Niners and the Eagles. Specifically, the Eagles today against another tough team. Last week they had the Chiefs, and they snuck out of that one. I mean, they got so lucky to get out of that. The Chiefs handed the game to them, gave them every chance, and eventually, the Eagles were able to take that win. That hurt our playoff, our first seed and NFC East division champ. Percentages went way down after that win by the Eagles last week against Kansas City. Today, could we get lucky and the Bills blow it? I mean, the Bills can pull it off against the Eagles and the Eagles blow it? It looked that way. The Bills were up by 10, but they blew the game in overtime. A lot of chances for them to win this fucking game. And that's what hurt. That's what Jalen Hurts, so to speak. He had 5 touchdowns today. Jalen Hurts led the Eagles into a big, calling it epic, overtime win over Buffalo. Jalen Hurts scored a 12-yard touchdown run in overtime. If you guys watch it, you know it. After, Josh Allen missed a wide-open Gabe, what was his name? Gabe Wilson? No.
Davis?
Gabe Davis. Yeah, Gabe Davis in the end zone, wide open. They got a field goal after that, but they could have ended it with the touchdown by Josh Allen. I don't know if it was his fault or Davis's fault. Either way, the Eagles will not let you, escape without making you pay. They're a good team. Very good team. No matter what you guys are saying in the chat, they are a very good team. And they get lucky. They create their own luck, in my opinion, most of the time. And in the end, the refs also. We can bitch here about the refs. The refs missed a lot of calls, a lot of interference and bullshit, horse collar. We know it. But I'm not the only one. We're not the only ones complaining. Our own players are complaining about this stuff because we don't get any calls, anything. And then now we're seeing going the opposite way.
Yeah, and not just we don't get any calls. We literally just saw/heard Micah Parsons finally going off this week saying, hey, refs, are you here to do your jobs, or are you just here to look cute on the field?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it is frustrating
strange,
because,
yeah.
again, it's easy to say there's just a Cowboy narrative, right? It's easy to say it only happens against the Cowboys. But holy cannoli, when you're seeing it happen to other teams in such a blatant fashion, and it's not even like a questionable call that like, oh, okay, you could see. No. We're talking straight up, obvious holds, like in front of the refs, guys getting pulled down, and still nothing. So, you know, it is frustrating because obviously it's one thing for it to happen like for one play or something, but it clearly had an impact on this game. It obviously is having impacts in other games, and we're the first ones to say you got to play better than the refs. You can't put yourself in a situation where you're waiting for a flag to bail you out, which is unfortunately what happened to the Bills, because even before all those missed flags and all the missed penalties and all the other stuff,
they had opportunities.
They were still up 10 points against the Eagles and allowed them to come back.
And missed,
all penalty-free, by the way.
Missed 2 field goals, the Bills, right? They missed a couple of touchdown opportunities, which, you know, you can't miss that many times against a good team like the Eagles. Case closed. So the Eagles snuck out of this with a 37-34 win at Lincoln Financial Field. And the game-winning score came in overtime, of course, guys. A big clutch performance by Jalen Hurts. 5 touchdowns in total against the Bills. Much love to Cowboys Mosh, who's dropping that 5 on it.
Woo.
Jason Renford at 93 points on that stream, boss. What did the Mosh man say?
For a different channel and a different time, my sincere apologies to the MCF family. I love y'all, and let's go Cowboys.
So good, Mosh. I was gonna, after the stream, I was gonna, hunt you down, and we were gonna, discuss more stuff. I wanted to clarify some things now that I'm not so drunk.
Yesterday was my first little dip in the toe into some of the after dark stuff. Officially, I should say. I'm always lurking behind the scenes and stuff, but we're all pretty good when it comes to what I would call streamer etiquette. And it's all good, Mosh. We know that it's all love from you, and,
Yeah, of course. And
always ride for you.
Listen, we'll always bump heads. We will. But it's all good because we know what each other's about. So it's all good, and we'll discuss it out. I don't know, on your channel, on After Dark, another day, whatever. We'll see. Maybe today. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I might go live again. Who knows, right?
Double R, maybe that is why. He said the reason the refs missed the call against the Cowboys, they're too busy looking at the cheerleaders.
I'm saying the cheerleaders, combination with the star on that helmet, how can you look away?
And Seabass, this truly is, I think, the best answer. He said, NFL officiating will not change. We've been here before. The players have to come together and press the Player Association and Co. to make something happen.
Again,
it's
I go
kind
back
of a
to the
weird
Micah
double-edged sword,
Parsons.
because I know we talked about this during the off-season training camp time, but there is a bit of a ref shortage, right? And not just refs, like quality refs as well. So a good chunk of the refs are like super old or on the verge of retirement and stuff, and all the newer refs they're bringing in.
Or blind, like Ray Charles.
Of course.
Anyways.
And that's kind of the problem. A lot of the newer refs that are coming in are still kind of getting their feet wet and figuring things out and learning things from a, refereeing perspective that can only be learned on the job type of situation.
Listen,
and shit.
We had that situation when it comes to these refs. And again, that's our new ref check picture, by the way. So it's not. But
and Fred was very good point there. He said Financial Field needs some financial enhancements because that stadium is trash.
I agree, and so are the refs when they're reffing it. Look, you saw what happened with Micah in this game against the Commanders. I mean, 5 penalties they missed completely. I mean, and there's others that are even not as close, but still close enough. You might say, damn, that could have been a flag. Back to the head. Come on. So the point here is, after 4 quarters, not counting overtime, I don't think there's any penalties in overtime. The Bills had 11 penalties against them for 80 yards. The Eagles had 3 penalties for 15 total yards. Just huge disparity there. Are they that clean? The Eagles, are they that good? They're not. No, they're not. Because we've seen them grabbing, and we've seen horse collars, and we've seen holding, and we've seen this stuff. The 2 starters were missing on their offensive line today, Lane Johnson being one of them. So I'm just saying, there was a lot of things going on with the Eagles where, okay, you can say they were just cleaner, right? And sometimes they are. But today, against the Bills, they were not. They were equally dirty. Both teams were equally dirty, and they didn't call. They called 11 on the Bills and 3 on the Eagles. So night and day, even causing Ron Kearse, all right, number 1 for the Cowboys. He missed this last week. He said, "quote dog, this ish getting out of hand, and it's obvious." So again, not just hurting us with some of these
You're not
bullshit.
wrong, dog.
He's not wrong. And listen, Micah Parsons being hurt by you don't think that J-Ron Kearse and our defense like knows this shit's going on? Of course. They see it happening. They see the film the next day. We see the all-22 and we see it. So obviously they see it. They know there's a lot of missed calls on opposing offenses against guys like Micah Parsons. But yet we watch. Everyone's watching this game, the Eagles and the Bills, and the players are seeing the disparity in the flags against teams like the Eagles. Now, is this a conspiracy? No. Is it staged? No. Are they picking on us? Wah. No. It's just the bad luck of football and the way things go. Do they look cleaner? Maybe overall, maybe so. But is that an excuse? No. I want the refs to get this shit right, but until that happens, and it's never going to happen, the Cowboys have to overcome the penalties, the lack of calls like this. The Cowboys have to do that. And, I do agree. Sending a package like this to the NFL, even if they're not going to change anything about it for this game, but next time they see this shit when it gets to the playoffs, that's when it's going to count.
The Dez, not a catch situation. Yes, every single one of us wishes we could go back in time and make those changes so that it was counted as a catch, because it clearly freaking was. But per the rules, it technically was.
Well, actually it was. They admitted it was, but at the time they kind of miscalled it. And Cowboys,
the point is that now the rules are much more clear, and now right, I'm just saying that situation isn't going to happen again. Similar to how next year, obviously, we're all kind of expecting the tush push to get tush pushed into the not allowed side of things. So just saying, like, those types of adjustments
are
constantly needing to be made. But that's not even the point in this regard, right? Which is the crazy part.
Listen,
Mike Aldana saying how he slides some extra money to the refs. Definitely makes you wonder, right? Dave Brown, thanks for being here. Yeah, I think all of us are big fans of the Dolly Parton Cowboy cheerleader.
Let's go. So, again, just to finish this, the penalty situation, you're seeing this specifically, this package here, these 5 plays on our side of things. But let's talk about the Eagle win. Because the Eagles, they eventually, as you guys, we just said it, they did take that victory, and now they're 2 games up on us, plus have the tiebreaker. So, this win by the Eagles, once again, like last week, then they beat the Chiefs and that hurt the Cowboys. This also hurts the Cowboys. The fact that they, won this game today, mainly because of what's happening with the rest of the season. All right, and the Cowboys 5 games now. Next 5 games are going to be a lot more difficult. They might lose and slip up and lose a game, or even 2. Who knows? So with our tough schedule of 5 games coming up, playoff teams above, definitely winning percentage teams. When you look at that, and you look at the Eagles, after this week here against the Niners, and then the following week against the Cowboys, they get Seattle, and then they get the rest of their schedule is like teams that have won like 3 games this year, all these teams. So, they're going to have a real easy finale. We are, of course, having 5 out of 6 games are going to be playoff teams, or could be possible playoff teams, definitely winning teams at the time. So, that's the advantage is still in the Eagles' way, and in a bigger way now. Every game they win against a tough team, it just makes it more difficult for us to have to hope they lose. I
don't want to say hope, right? But the expectation was that the Eagles would take some kind of L here during some of these tougher streaks that they just had. The fact that they didn't is really big for them. And unfortunately does hurt us and affect us more, because we did take the L to some of the tougher teams that we faced so far. So now it does put even more of the pressure on us to win out in a way that wasn't there before.
Even if we win out, the Eagles can also win out or win, most of their games there. Look, when it comes to, I'll talk about the playoff stuff in a minute, but basically it makes the Cowboys to win the East and getting that first seed. It makes it almost impossible. Makes it very improbable the Cowboys will win, get that first seed / NFC East. That's really the only way we can get that number 1 seed. And if we get the NFC East, we're probably getting that first seed. Now, of course, there's ways that if the Eagles lose to the Niners next week, which is what we got to hope for, root for, the Niners beat the Eagles, then we'll have a chance. The Cowboys have a chance to, maybe make a run at that, at that NFC East spot. It's going to still be tough. They got to lose to us, and then they got to lose 1 more game. So, and we got to win out. But let's just say, that doesn't happen. But they still falter, and even we falter. If the Niners keep winning, the Niners would be that first seed. The Eagles would be we could pass the Eagles up and be the 2nd seed possibly. And that's kind of how that goes there. But it's either going to be probably the 1st seed or 2nd seed for the Cowboys versus the probable spot we're going to be in, and that's the 5th seed when it comes to the playoffs. I'll talk about that a little more in a second, but we'll have to end up playing the winners of the AFC South And in case you don't know, that thing is changing every single week. Right now, we're getting to the point where it's probably going to be, right now it's the Atlanta Falcons because of their win today.
Yeah.
But
which
against
I
the
guess
Saints
helps us, right?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Look, any team you're going to play in there, we should destroy. The Panthers Panthers only have 2 wins, I think they have 2 wins. The point with the Panthers, 1 win. The Panthers, they're not going to win the division, so they're out of that running. You got the Saints who faltered today against the Falcons, and both those teams are in the AFC South, and of course the Buccaneers also lost to the Tennessee Titans. So you got really subpar teams there. Every team is bad. So whoever we play on the road, no problem. I'm pretty sure we're going to wipe the floor with them. That's a team we definitely will beat, even if we're the road team. We'll have the better record, and we'll beat them like last year with Tampa Bay. It's the same situation, but it's that second game now on the road. It's going to have to be against the Niners or the Eagles. That's pretty much going to be the way it's going to have to be. And if that happens, then we're going to have to win some 2 tough games right there. Probably one against the Niners and one against the Eagles to be able to go to the Super Bowl. So we'll take it step by step, but that's the way it's going to look. And again, when it comes to Philadelphia, I'll have one. I don't want to spend too much time on Philly or any of these teams. I'm talking. This is all about the Cowboy-related stuff.
Dilly fuck Philly.
Yeah, but say what you want about Philly. I will say this: fuck Philly always. But they are still a good team that finds ways to win, whether with luck or bad refereeing calls. They still find ways. There's teams that have that go their way and they still lose games. The Eagles are able to do that and continue to win.
And that's why I said that they're just fucking lucky.
Well, again, but other teams get lucky and are not able to get through some of the stuff, right?
I agree.
So they are still a good team. All right, they find ways to win. They failed only one way to find a way to win this year. But I will admit, I do think this is the worst 10-1 team I've ever seen in the NFL. I mean, seriously.
That's definitely one way to...
They're still good. They're very good, but they're not 10-1.
Yeah, when you picture a 10-1 team, the way that they dominate, the things that they're doing, like, even I admit, it's not exactly the way that Philly's doing it this year, but we've said it before. It's not like there's some kind of asterisk next to your Super Bowl win or your team victories, right? Like, a 10-1 record is still 10-1, even if you take that 10-1 Philly team and put it up against any other 10-1 team in the last handful of years, and they'd probably get demolished. Yeah,
the Eagles get crushed. But when you look at the playoff picture, the Eagles are the first seed right now, 10-1. The Niners are 8-3 in this. What's up? Is that D?
Oh, DWB?
I can't see.
D-Wub?
D-Web in the house.
There you go.
Much love, D-Web.
Thank you for subbing it up.
Hell yeah, go Cowboys. So Eagles are first place, 10-1, and they would get the bye. The Niners are second at 8-3. Hello, were you there?
A little blip there.
A little spectrum blip, but much love to everybody. Welcome and saying who's ever been in the house. And then we ended with D Webb over there. I was talking about the playoff picture right now. Eagles first seed, Niners second seed because they're the NFC West. NFC North are the Lions. They're third seed at 8-3, and then the Falcons are 5-6, the fourth seed. Then we play at Atlanta at 8-3. Being the fifth seed. The Vikings play tomorrow night. They're 6-5 and currently the sixth seed. And Seattle Seahawks, we're our opponent on Thursday. They're 6-5 currently. That would be the playoff teams. Right behind those guys at 5-6, 3 teams: the Packers, the Rams, and the Saints. And when it comes to the Saints, they're the other team that can challenge the Falcons for that fourth spot. So we could play at New Orleans. That's another option. At the Falcons or at Tampa Bay if those teams fight it out and end up winning the NFC South. So that's the playoff situation right now overall. Now, what about, we know what happens. We win the Super Bowl. I mean, there'll be guys leaving this team, but let's say we don't win the Super Bowl. Let's say Dan Quinn moves on to be a head coach, right? And I'll stop here for a second because we got the great Alanda Hanselu dropping that 5 on it. The $5 holler from a Dolphin fan with a fantastic
this is
Cowboy
a fair
husband.
question, though. This is a fair question. Is the story that Philly won, or did the Bills blow it? Like, well, which one is it?
The
is
Bills
it that
blew
Philly did so well, they actually beat the Bills, or is it that the Bills somehow turned around and blew this game? Even I have to admit it's a little bit of both, although more so Bills blowing it than the other way around, because like we said, they had pretty much a solid lead almost the entire game and had several scoring attempts that were missed on their side. Remember, that when they were up 10-0, they should have been up another 6 points on top of that. They had 2 missed field goals at that point. So, you can't deny that Philly was able to do something pretty great on their side coming back, and the way they came back and the way that they kind of fought back and dominated. But Yeah, it does. I would put it a little bit more towards the Bills blowing it.
I have my opinion. I mean, much love, by the way, Alonda. She is now 10th on the board, on the overall board
now
right
D-Web is saying Philly won that. That touchdown pass by Hurts was crazy.
No, listen, Hurts did some great stuff out there. I agree that here's the thing. When I say it like this, I see it like this. The Bills were giving it away. They were blowing it. And they still had a chance to win. The Eagles took it. See, that's what the Eagles...
They gave them an opportunity, and the Eagles grasped it with both hands.
And that's how good the Eagles are. Because not every team could still take that from the Bills, even with the way the Bills are playing, giving everything away. Poor reffing, but also not as clean as the Eagles for the most part, let's just say. Either way, the Bills, I think, blew it, and they still had a chance to win it, and the Eagles just said, fuck it, we're taking it, because they're good enough to do that. So you give them too many chances, they're going to win. The Cowboys did that. We got down how many times we drive down the field? We had like three times we were inside the 10-yard line, and we couldn't get a point. That to me is some mismanagement. It's great red zone defense by the Eagles, but it's a lot. When you look at what happened in those plays, it was blown blocks, penalties by the Cowboys, self-inflicted wounds. And so, yeah, we gave them the opportunity to take it, and they took it from us. They took that win back, which they had solidified. We came back in there twice. They still had issues stopping us. We stopped ourselves most of the time. So it's that kind of thing. The Eagles are good enough to take it when it matters most, but we could have grasped that multiple times, and so could the Bills. They missed out. Anyways, coaching-wise,
I think that's a fair way of putting it. And honestly, again, similar to us in the sense that we hung with the Eagles the whole game. It's not like they went out there and dominated us or destroyed us. And you can't really say that towards the end of that game, they were the ones that somehow went back and won it. We genuinely lost that game by sitting there and moving backwards offensively when we had the chance to kind of close it out fully. But the Eagles, same as the Bills in the sense of they were there. They were about to score. And instead they had to settle for the stupid field goal. And then Philly turned around and said, hold my beer, I'm going to score a touchdown.
They missed the opportunity in the end zone. They had a guy wide open for a touchdown.
When you're talking about as well a game of inches, I mean, again, the two missed field goals alone.
Yeah, hit the crossbar.
There's your 6 to 12 inches you were missing. So anyway, I hate it because everything about that game today pissed me off, I have to be honest, outside of like the first half. Well, and even then.
I'm going to say this. The Cowboys put themselves in this position. I cannot sit here and get mad at this game. No? The Cowboys, they had a chance to beat the Cardinals. They lost it. They had a chance to hang better with the Niners. They blew that. And they had a chance to take that win against the Eagles, and we gave that away. So no matter how you slice it, the Eagles do it. We don't. You can talk about the refs and the missed calls and this and that and the favoritism. I don't care. Cowboys had chances. We gave it away. They had chances. They took it, and they made it happen. So that's it. It's simple as that. Now, when it comes to coaching. Dan Quinn. There's rumors out there that if he is available after this year, whether the Cowboys, don't want to make him head coach or he wants to go somewhere and be a head coach, right now the rumor is that Dan Quinn could be replacing Brandon Staley. You saw him tonight coaching the Chargers, their head coach of the Chargers. Kellen Moore's the offensive coordinator. But right now we thought maybe they slate Kellen Moore to be the replacement at head coach for Staley at the end of the year.
Yeah, it seems like no one's ready to give the head coaching reins to Kellen Moore.
So it seems like they trust someone like Dan Quinn if he's available at the end of the year. The Chargers may be trying to become the Cowboys of the AFC West. 2 off seasons ago, the Raiders tried a similar approach when with the Patriots, when they hired former New England offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels as the head coach, and then former Patriot director of player personnel Dave Ziegler as the general manager. And that experiment, as we know, went up in flames when McDaniels and Ziegler both fired mid-season or early season this year. Again, the only difference here we're talking about now is, again, Dan Quinn. Will he suffer that same situation with the Chargers if he becomes the head coach there? I don't think so. We don't know what's going to happen, but you have to wonder why the Chargers would consider hiring another defensive-minded coach to succeed Brandon Staley, who's, again, his defenses have been very underachieving. And he's working with very good players, very good scouts and coaches.
Maybe you're answering your own question. Well, they feel like offensively they have enough going on. The defense just needs to, play that complementary football. And if they hired a defensive-minded coach that couldn't quite get the defense up to snuff, well, Dan Quinn has apparently done that in at least 2 to 3 teams now, or contributed to the success of 2 to 3 teams having that. So
I mean, he helped the Seahawks, of course, win a Super Bowl. He get to a second Super Bowl. He helped, of course, the Falcons get to a Super Bowl, and then Shanahan blew that on the offensive coordinator side. And then, of course, with the Cowboys right now. I mean, he's obviously very successful right now with our Cowboys and his Doomsday Part 2 defense. But still, we know Quinn's is very deserving of another head coaching job, and he'll get that eventually, if not in Dallas, somewhere else. But he has a 43 wins, 42 losses career record as a head coach. That probably won't be the happiest thing for Los Angeles Charger fans to hear. He only made the playoffs twice. Of course, his best year was 2016 when they made the Super Bowl and lost, but had only 2 winning seasons and 5+ seasons as a head coach for the Falcons. So just going to leave that there. They are looking, though, and they are saying the word is maybe Dan Quinn is a guy that's going to be hired over there with the Chargers. And, of course, we have Kellen Moore over there waiting in the wings as the offensive coordinator. Now, what about our head coach, Mike McCarthy? He spoke about some things going down today, and the biggest one, I think, maybe, and I think you can attest to this, and you guys, we want to know what you think. It's part of the discussion here on our, title of our stream tonight. It's about Shaq, not Shaquille O'Neal, but Darius Shaquille Leonard right there, and you see him wearing that throwback cowboy blue. He wasn't playing this game. That's, of course, Photoshop, but that right there is Shaq Leonard, Darius Shaquille Leonard, linebacker, who's been released, floating around out there. Is he going to go to the Cowboys or the Eagles? Those are the 2 teams that were talked a lot about that, right? So what did McCarthy say today about Shaq? He said, quote, "I don't have anything to report on Shaq, but yes, definitely there's interest." Now, first off, just the fact that McCarthy mentioned that there's interest by the Cowboys to sign someone like Darius Leonard.
Solidly.
Yeah, usually he wouldn't say that. That means it's something that felt more real. And then later on, I'm pretty sure it was Calvin Watkins that said this. McCarthy, of course, said the Cowboys have interest in Shaq Leonard, but a source close to the situation says that Darius Leonard will visit the Cowboys later this week. Now, at the time, the specific date wasn't finalized, but we heard later on in the night. What was it?
Yeah, it seems like Wednesday is the day that they're kind of eyeballing, targeting.
Or earlier. I think it's before Wednesday or before.
Yeah, Wednesday, like at the latest. And obviously, like you said, they're trying to get something done sooner than that. But again, I find it fascinating just because, usually Jerry will always bring up the hype machine or whatever. But even he mentioned post-game that the Cowboys are doing they had just started looking at Leonard, which is why he wasn't going to commit to saying anything more. He's just saying that, we're actually doing our due diligence behind the scenes and checking them out.
Hey,
and doing our side of things, but anything more than that, I can't really say.
No.
So with McCarthy's comment now, just a few days later, it sounds like whatever due diligence is happening behind the scenes is definitely leaning more towards, hey, well, let's try to bring him in, let's check him out, especially if, like you said, one, we haven't really heard any other percolating interest from other teams at this point as publicly as we've heard the Cowboys, and the Cowboys themselves are actually backing this up.
Yeah, and
so it's not just your usual, hey, let's associate every free agent, every guy who's available out there with the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys still keeping it under wraps. Listen, there's not a lot of, again, the Eagles are interested, but we're not hearing a lot of talk about the Eagles currently with Shaq Leonard. So we have to really wait and see what comes out of this meeting. But I'm going to say this. Cowboys are the forefront, leaders right now in signing Darius Leonard. And that's a good sign for maybe him repping that star. Now, a lot of people saying don't let him leave Dallas without signing on that dotted line. You know how the Cowboys do. Cowboys always, play hardball. And, let him see his other choices out there and let him test the waters, I think, a little bit is what you may see the Cowboys do. You can lose a guy that way. So, in my opinion, here's what it comes down to. If whatever the Cowboys saw in Darius Leonard and they want to sign him, whatever they like, if this guy comes here for the workout on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, if he's here for the workout and he looks good physically on the field, I think that the Cowboys should not let him leave. I think that if he looks good and he checks out physically, then I think the Cowboys got to just get a number here for him to play out the rest of the season with the Cowboys. And again,
I more than agree.
Yeah, and it would be only helpful for the Cowboys to get him rolling now. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands, even if he signs today, right now, he's not playing against the Seattle Seahawks this weekend or this Thursday. But you got 10 days after that Now you get a chance to work him in.
Yeah, now that's a very different story. So that's why
look for the Philly game for him to maybe play if he signed, in the next couple of days.
Not just that, but you see why there's that pressure to get him in before that Thursday game, so that we at least maybe have an idea, have an offer made, something, right? Because guess what? Friday after the game, we want him in the building.
Yeah, and again,
like acclimating himself and joining the team and just participating in all of our, post-game activity and things like that. Like you said, jump in with both feet.
I think it would be a great pickup. I think if he fits the physical profile that he hasn't really lost much there, then we should definitely roll the dice on him. And $2 million plus incentives. I don't know probably even less than that. Who knows? But the Cowboys should get him signed, and it's not going to hurt to have a guy on this team for the rest of the year and seeing where he could roll, kind of what he can do. Now, look, we got to see a lot of other things too, and where some of these guys, in our team currently are doing when it comes to injuries and other things. But we got Hendershot on the IR waiting to come back. He has to come back this week, or we lose him for the year. Hendershot, I'm pretty sure that's the rule there. So 21 days. So we need now, if we sign Leonard, we need 2 open spots on this team. So that's going to be something that we're going to keep an eye on. Obviously, this week around this Cowboys-Seattle game, it's on Thursday. So. That's any quick thoughts in the chat maybe about Leonard and about this upcoming situation for us?
Let me go ahead and hit up the chat here. Wilson Santiago said, why do I have the feeling Catboy will low-ball him? Motor City Maniac, what's up? Much love. Nice to see you here.
CM in the house.
Seabass saying, Overshown would be nice right about now. Again, there's always one preseason injury that lingers throughout the year that we're just sitting there just going Overshown. Just
this
missing
will be perfect
him, right?
now, yeah.
Oh, and I do mean specifically preseason injury, right? Because it's never, obviously we miss Trayvon, obviously we miss LVE and stuff like that, but Overshown didn't even get the chance to be missed. Anyway, going back here. Jason Renfro saying, Shaq Leonard is a very solid linebacker. Mike Aldana saying, Cowboys did the same thing with Rashawn Evans. Yeah. Seabass saying, Stephen may lowball the dude, it'll come out later. Double R throwing out there, the Colts are silly for letting him go. Wow.
They don't want to pay him the $6.11 million left on that contract right now.
And Seabass also asking, is Leonard meeting with just the Cowboys, or is he meeting with the Eagles as well?
Right now, the word is nothing coming out of Philadelphia, only the Cowboys. The first meeting seems to be the Cowboys, so Cowboys get first crack.
So, let me see. And kind of rolling back a little bit to your Dan Quinn comments, just because I see Dustin Roberts throwing this out there. That would be a great hire for the Chargers. I doubt that Dan would go to that suspect franchise. He was an inch away from going to Denver, which, call it suspect or not, but Quinn has mentioned before that for him it's about the right fit. So
and who
I don't know what that means necessarily, but I wouldn't discount the Chargers as being one of the chances or possibilities of being a right fit. I
see Joey Cannoli in the house. And I don't really agree with the fan base respecting us, other fan bases, but I do agree that sometimes Cowboy fans get way too happy about, again, I know we discussed this maybe in the last couple of days, but...
It's they can't give other teams any actual credit for being good on their own.
What? Huh? Sorry?
They can't... Okay, because they say, it's always because it's luck, or it's always something else. It's never because the team actually beat them because they were good. Again, Philly... beats teams not because they're a good team, but because they're a lucky team.
Well, I think it's not just that. I think what Joey Cannoli is saying is that when this happens, when we beat a team 45-10, and their name are the Washington Commanders and they suck, saying that's what we're supposed to do, and that's kind of the way I feel. I feel like some people everyone thinks we're going to the Super Bowl because we destroyed the Washington Commanders, and that's 100% not the case. I don't care how we feel. We got to see it against the good teams.
If it was somehow the Washington Commanders on the other side of that Super Bowl field, then, maybe. But obviously not.
That's
Usually,
the point.
The teams that make it to the Super Bowl are playing a little better than the Commanders.
And not only that, baby. The teams in the playoffs are playing better than the Commanders. That's my issue. That's why I say we're one and done if we don't show this against better teams. And we're going to have 5 weeks of this shit, so we should see it. All right? Now, anyways, Darius Leonard, we'll see what happens with him. If he makes if he gets on this team here, we'll know probably in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll keep you updated on that, of course, as soon as anything moves there. It's definitely at night. We'll discuss it, and we'll touch base on this topic again. But Mike McCarthy wasn't done speaking today. Today's a Wednesday, so he has his press conference. He spoke a little bit about Sam Williams, but not on defense as much, although he's doing great on defense this year with his opportunities. Mm-hmm. But it's more about his strength when he's double teamed on special teams, when he's double teamed on, when he's in punt coverage. And he says it's still something to see, still a sight. Basically, most gunners, which are quicker, faster, and they use their speed to go around, using their quickness to split double teams. But at 6'4", 62 pounds for Sam Williams, he's like, basically it's like a 15-yard bull rush. Instead of going around them, he just goes through them and runs them over with the speed, the power, and his size. So, McCarthy kind of bringing to light the Sam Williams importance on special teams as a gunner. 6'4" guy, this is crazy. Usually you got thinner, faster guys like C.J. Goodwin, right? So, you also had another thing that Mike McCarthy touched on before the injuries. Mm-hmm. He touched on the offensive explosiveness of, right now our
favorite special teams player outside of Brandon Aubrey now.
I mean, you got, the man Cavante Turpin in the house. What did McCarthy say about Turpin and how he's kind of fitting into this offense and how they're trying to show him off a little bit more?
McCarthy added in their quote, "He's disciplined in his route running. The post route that he runs, you can't run it any better. His angle, his stride, his timing are all stress that he puts on the safety. And then you can see the safety react off of Brandon going off the red line. I think that's a clear picture of the details and the specifics that Turp is playing with right now."
Again, high praise. And you can see how he's getting more, Mike McCarthy, he is getting more comfortable in utilizing the skill set and strengths of Cavante Turpin in this offense.
I agree. McCarthy adding in their quote, "He's going to continue to grow, and he's done a really good job in that receivers room. I am really proud of that young man." And of course, what exactly has been the difference maker, right? Like, how has he had such a big jump here? What's the changes
for Turpin?
And according to Turpin himself, he said execution. All the guys.
No, I don't. Was that? Did he say that? I thought it was Mike McCarthy said that.
Okay, it says according to Turpin, like. Okay, so I guess it was McCarthy who said it. The way it's phrased, it makes it sound like Turpin is the one saying this. But either way, McCarthy's saying that execution, all the guys trusting each other. We go in each and every week just trying to do better than the last week, and I feel that we're doing that. It doesn't matter who we play. If we go out there and play Cowboys football, we're going to be all right. That is definitely Cavante Turpin speaking about himself.
All right, there you go.
So
Turpin, Turpin and McCarthy.
Sorry. Unless, McCarthy is out there executing on the field.
No, the point is that McCarthy and Turpin, they're seeing the same thing there when it comes to the offensive side of things. And, again, going in there and maximizing his skill set is what McCarthy's finally able to kind of find on offense. Where Kellen Moore couldn't find anything but a gadget player.
I think it's funny, though, that Turpin speaks specifically on execution and, the player execution side, in the sense that has been the bigger difference maker, not as much the scheme. Well, so and I'm not trying to say that one is right or the other. It's just, remember, this is how Turpin himself is seeing it. He sees that they have put in the work to execute better at a higher level. Obviously, we know that the scheme helps tremendously with that.
And not just the scheme. It's also that stuff we talk about when it comes to using that motion. And that's...
motion. By the way... No, I'm just saying, I know you mentioned this obviously in more of the post-game stuff, and I feel like my memory's a little fuzzy here, but wasn't our motion in this past game something like 70? We used motion like 75% of the time? Thank you. That's why I wanted to mention that. I'm like, this is the most motion we've used all year. Yep. And this is probably the best, that we continue to look the best we have every single time we play.
Turpin's going to say, it's the execution. He's not going to blame coaches for the difference, but I do think that the combination of executing the more non-static offense with motion and other things is, it's a combination that the players will look better and they'll execute better when the scheme is, better. So I think that's the key there. I think that the fact that execution is better when the scheme is more fluid to their skill sets and strengths on offense. So no matter what it is,
love to see it.
No matter what it is, right? We love to see it. Turpin being used more in the offense. And we'll go from there. Now, one last player that McCarthy did speak about in its injury status situation here for J-Ron Kearse. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy today said that safety J-Ron Kearse, with his back injury, he missed this game.
Yeah.
Said, quote, looks good and has a good chance of playing Thursday versus Seattle. So great news there.
Exactly what we were kind of hoping to hear in this regard, especially considering that we thought he was not close to playing, but definitely on the closer to playing the not side of things? Like, if this was a playoff game, would we have seen Kearse? Probably, maybe. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't a definitive. It doesn't matter who we're playing.
I think it was also the quick turnaround from the game. I think he got injured a little bit more, stressed his back out there in that Carolina game. That was if we were gonna play Sunday instead of Thursday, I think he'd be fine. I think. I mean, I don't know about.
We might be having a different discussion.
Yeah, I think that he would be more apt to play, obviously, and I think that for this Thursday game, if he's pretty much able to play that game, then he probably would have played Sunday. So or today, I should say. So Jayron Kearse, again, when it comes to McCarthy's comments, again says that when it comes to the practice, which happened after this press conference, that he's going to take about half the reps in today's jog through practice. Of course, Kearse missed only one game, and it was this last one. And Jayron Kearse, again, when you look at the game, of course, we just had the blowout victory over Washington. He was, of course, absent from this, sidelined by the back tightness. And this was popped up on the short week after the Panther game. Prevented him from playing in 2 days in a 4-day span. So, again, he's trending in the right direction, as we said. McCarthy said, he should be able to play this game, but it's basically a Wednesday today, so we still have to kind of wait and see. In his absence, though, for Jayron Kearse, who played a lot of these snaps, Wanye Thomas, number 30, who did a great job out there. We talked about him earlier in the after this game. And if Kearse wasn't able to go, and if he's unable to go this week 13 due to a setback, or just maybe they don't want to rush him back, it would be Wanye Thomas getting that start at that hybrid strong safety position. But the initial news on Jayron Kearse, fantastic, promising, heading in the right direction.
Again, thank goodness. Yeah. And by the way, Dustin, Wanye Thomas, honestly, he did a pretty solid job of stepping into that role.
He played.
Let's be real. Deron Bland seemed to have the roughest time in that Commanders game as far as our defensive backfield. But at the same, maybe that's just a survivorship bias in the sense of like we only saw or really only remembered like the bad plays that went wrong when he was targeted, and he just seemed to be overly targeted.
Listen, I saw Wanye Thomas targeted a couple times. Wanye, he was either in the mix, did not allow too much separation, and so he was consistently in the mix. And again, covering the tight ends, which is what Jayron Kearse does. He did a fantastic job doing that as being kind of specified for that. So great job by Wanye Thomas. We got to still see more from him, but he's definitely right there, earning the trust of course, Dan Quinn, and ready to continue to make the most of his opportunity right now as Jayron Kearse. Even if Kearse plays, he might not play as many snaps as he usually would in a game. He usually plays all the snaps. He might play 80% of them and have Wanye play some of them no matter what. So that'd probably be a good idea. You brought up Deron Bland. And of course, we got to talk some Deron Bland because he spoke a little bit. And specifically when it comes to Deron Bland, you have this. These are the first four. Of course, he had his fifth record-breaking pick six on Thursday, on Thanksgiving here. But do you guys know that Deron Bland's white gloves and size 14 white-blue cleats, that now Cowboys cornerback Deron Bland, he wore these two things, the white gloves and the white-blue cleats, were worn during this record-breaking fifth pick six of the season. They are now officially going to be at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So Deron Bland in the Hall of Fame, by using his cleats and his gloves. He said Deron Bland said he is, quote, keeping the football. He says, I got to. And I don't blame him. I would keep it too. He scored that touchdown. He slammed the football down, like spiked it, and then he went back and got it afterwards. Thank goodness. That's an important ball to keep, a record-breaking ball, and much love to Deron Bland. We've had the same situation happen with Brett Maher when he hit two back-to-back 60-yard field goals. That was also first time ever done, and they put his cleat in a towel or whatever they put him there in the Hall of Fame for Brett Maher, for the only player able to do that, the only kicker doing that. So Deron Bland now officially in the Hall of Fame. Cleats, gloves, it's there now. So, it's also funny. I'll explain in a minute here what the Seattle Seahawks have to say about Deron Bland. But first, let's talk about the man, Deron Bland. What do you have to say, baby, when it came to his game and everything around it? The Hall of Fame situation.
Quite the collector, because he says that all the balls are still in the case right now because he has every single one of his pick sixes and a little, trophy case thing in his home. But he said that's, later on. He's going to finish fixing that all up. So he said that he's been working on his, what he calls his ball hawk skills since he was like in elementary school, saying, quote, when I first started playing football, it was on offense. When I was a young kid, I was playing running back and transitioned to playing quarterback. I always played defense too, but I played receiver in middle school. But every time the ball goes in the air, I go back to my offensive ways. I'm trying to get the ball and see what I can do with the ball in my hands.
He has, what I really like about the way Bland makes in his interceptions, when he gets that ball, like he saw against Carolina, he goes and pops back up and goes for a touchdown. But even against his pick six against Washington or other pick sixes you've seen him do, that transfer from like the ball to going down the field to score, like he catches that ball and he's already gone. Like he's already heading towards.
It feels like one fluid movement when you see him do it.
And he changes hands.
No thought between the catching and then the doing. It's just like one solid straight motion.
Yeah, and he puts that ball. When he corrals that ball and puts it in. As he's tucking the ball. I mean, he's zooming still down the field, and he has very good control and very very accurate when it comes to agile when it comes to his moves down the field.
And I do also want to point out that this past Washington game might have been not his greatest performance, but even with all of these pick sixes, it's not like his coverage has suffered from that, which I don't want to say you usually see. It's more the sense that it's not like, like usually when you have players who make those types of big plays, they tend to sometimes blow bigger plays, and you don't really see that proportionally the same way that you might expect.
To be fair, you're right. No, 100%. I mean, Deron Bland most of the season has been tight coverage, one of the bigger lockdown guys, plus pick six ball hawk guys, and that's rare to see, that package. But
that's why I said
he had a bad game,
notwithstanding.
He had a bad game against Washington, outside of course, the fantastic pick six.
But bad game is not a bad play.
And it's funny, bad game, it's like, still had a good game, of course, even without he still was good, but he definitely was getting eaten up there. They were picking on him in coverage. So he still got some things he could, of course, improve on, in my opinion. But he's still, one of the best. Lockdown. He's been a lockdown guy all year, except for this Washington game, and then of course picks and he turned into Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah,
so
he said it himself. Quote: "You can't go out there chasing plays, or you won't make plays at all."
That's correct.
I say just don't try to chase it.
He's right.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like we're seeing him blow his own coverage just to go out there and try to make the pick or try to force that situation to happen. So smart football going on here. He had it in there. I hear people talking and saying like, oh, I should be in it as far as the whole defensive player of the year conversation. He said, but if it happens, it happens. And we all know it happens.
Like I said before,
it happens because it's a good thing.
15 sacks are better than 5 pick sixes. I don't think so. That's all.
No, but we'll have to see if more pick sixes are heading his way. But for him, forget the defensive player of the year, forget everything. It's all about the Super Bowl. Saying now it's just trying to go all the way for the team and win the Super Bowl. I was always more into the team goals than anything because the personal goals just come with it.
Love it. Love his attitude. I love it.
So definitely the right mindset to have. And again, we're very, very lucky to have someone like Bland.
5th round pick from Fresno State.
Kind of doing that. So, and I know we've already touched on like the one or two little things that he said. Because remember, we were kind of expecting, I think most of us, a little bit more from him after all of this, like talking more in detail about it. But, he just said that the best part about getting it done was just having his teammates congratulate him. He's a man of few words. So, quote, I'm just going to let you know, I appreciate y'all. I'm thankful for y'all. It was a great win. So, but yeah, that's all I have here on my side.
He said about the Pro Bowl, right? I mean, the Hall of Fame, I think.
No, he said about the Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, I thought he talked about the Pro Bowl cleats and stuff like that. I had gotten that. He said basically, I'm keeping the football. He's got to keep the football.
That's why I said that he has the football, and he has the football for the other pick sixes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. True. Yeah,
I started off with that. So,
those,
he's keeping them. He has, like, a whole case situation that he's going to have set up. Right now, he just has them. He hasn't finished, like, officially setting them up. So
much love to the man, Clark Mama Kent in the house. Woo. Dropping that $2 holler. He said, Al Harris is the truth, bro. Bland all-pro soon. Agree and agree.
And like he just said, those personal stats, those all-pro, Pro Bowler, all that other stuff,
don't carry as much.
Naturally will come as long as the team keeps succeeding the way that they need to. So if he ends up even more in the Defensive Player of the Year discussions, it's only because he continues to play at a high level and continues to sprinkle in a pick six here and there, which is still very, very likely. It's not like, oh, it's week 12 or whatever, time to go hang up your cleats, Bland. Like, we're all looking at the rest of the schedule saying you probably have at least one, maybe two more.
I mean, again, it's
The
hard
way
to
he's
get.
going.
You don't chase plays, like you said.
I agree.
But, yeah, I mean...
We're just picking up what they're putting down.
The opportunity is there.
And they just keep putting down pick sixes.
Opportunity is there. And, now he's been there before. He knows how it's going to be. So, let's see what happens. There's still a couple opportunities. Got Josh Allen throws a lot of picks. I know Hurts has been throwing more picks this year. Geno Smith, he'll get forced into something. We'll look at him a little more tomorrow, Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks.
Jason, hopefully everything comes back good with those x-rays.
Yeah.
So,
I heard his
Justin
ribs.
Roberts throwing out there. I think by season's end, we'll be hitting on all cylinders and playing our best game playoffs.
That's what that's the most important thing. We're doing that no matter where we're at, 5th seed, 1st seed, 2nd seed. As long as we're clicking, that's going to give us our best chance to win, home or away.
And don't forget, guys, after the Seattle game, we're heading into everybody's favorite stretch of the season, December football. So, the real players play December football.
Only thing that's better than December football is January football.
Tough matchups this December, right? We play the Eagles, we play the Dolphins, we play the Bills, the
Lions. Yeah.
Lions, Tigers, and Bears home.
And the 30th of November, we play the Seattle Seahawks, who is a playoff team, 6-5 right now. So, speaking of the Seahawks, let's keep it rolling here, guys. As I said, Clark Kent on the board. Jason Renford at 85 points in the Stream Boss. Much love to all Go Cowboys. Now, DeRon Bland staying on the board. Why is he still up there, baby? We're talking about Seattle now. Well, because Malaysia.
Oh, thank you for stopping.
The whole country right here with us tonight. At My Cowboys Family. Appreciate you guys. Go Cowboys. But
Malaysia is all about the Cowboy football.
Let me say this now. DK Metcalf, which again, baby, do you remember wide receiver DK Metcalf of the Seahawks? He has less touchdowns than DeRon Bland. And that's their number one receiver over there. So today he was meeting the media, DK Metcalf, and he was asked about DeRon's 5 pick sixes this year, and he laughed and said, quote, "Yeah, I know. He's got more touchdowns than me." So
he already knew what they were gonna say.
Yeah, he just sighed and said, "Yeah, I know." So DeRon Bland is
obviously not a great feeling if you're an
there.
Offensive player and there's a cornerback out here outscoring you.
A star offensive player, So that was the thing with DK Metcalf. Now let's talk about this game here against the Seahawks. Now, guys, we are wrapping it up here. This is a little deeper dive, a little closer look here at the Seattle game, the Seattle keys. And I say keys, I mean more the players that are on this team. So let's review it real quick. But first, let's look at the overall situation in this game. And, of course, the Sea Chickens, right, baby? So the Seattle Seahawks opened today. Again, today's opening point spread. Mm-hmm. Cowboys opened as 7-point favorites at home against the Seattle Sea Chickens.
Not bad. Yeah,
this, again, to me, that's a lot usually for this kind of game. But hey, I guess Seattle's trending down. Cowboys, of course, trending up.
I think, remember, it's a home game too, and statistically speaking, our home games have been impressive this year.
I agree.
You could say.
Now, they're coming to Dallas. You know who else is coming to Dallas?
Who?
The Seattle Seahawks today announced that they signed former Cowboys cornerback Kelvin Joseph.
Oh, look at that!
Officially signed back to the Seattle, not back to the AT&T Stadium. He may be there now for this game. Kelvin Joseph is now on the Seattle Seahawks practice squad. Is he going to play? Probably not. Maybe he will. He's on the practice squad. But does he know the Cowboys? Can he give some hints about the Cowboy defense, what we do? Maybe that's why he was released, because he didn't really follow too well. I don't know. Either way, that was announced today. The Seahawks signed Kelvin Joseph, second round pick for the Cowboys a couple years back, and they also signed wide receiver Cody White to their practice squad along with Kelvin Joseph, and they released offensive outside linebacker Levi Bell and offensive guard Ben Brown from their team. So you've seen the moves there. Receiver, cornerback, got rid of pass rusher, linebacker slash one of those two spots there, and guard Ben Brown. So Seahawks making some moves today. Opening Cowboys already favored by 7.
Yeah.
Not that means anything, because we should win. I think we should win by double digits against this team. They're not that good. I'm going to go through some names here in a minute, but first let me go through the man and what he said here when it comes to Clark motherfucking Kent in the house. Dropping that 5 on it. What did the man say? Hit me with it, baby.
Do you guys notice the defense and offense have bet against each other?
Yes.
I think it's pretty awesome when D-Law is counting defensive plays. Your thoughts again?
They usually go after touchdowns, right? They talk about touchdowns, who scores more. They had bets like this in the past about who pays for the vacation for the other side of the ball. Go ahead.
And
babe.
I love it just because, again, one, it just shows the kind of brotherhood on this team, right? Like, say whatever you want, but this team, I've never seen this team fully come together in this way, even when we're losing, even when we're looking like crap. This team is on the same page, even if sometimes that page is a crappy one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the unification, the kind of real brotherhood, like you said, man, it was a few weeks ago, and I can't remember who it was that said it. It was one of our players. I want to be specific here. He basically said, most of the time you're playing on these teams, it's like you got coworkers, right? You're here to do your job, but we got brotherhood.
Yeah.
We got brothers here. So
they have a
that
great
level
relationship.
of connection, it is just great to see, and it does show in some of these little things, right? Because it's not even about, oh, you're doing shitty or oh, you're whatever. It's about them wanting to elevate each other.
Yeah.
And if you guys do have a brother or a sister or a sibling, you guys know sometimes it is partially it is like, oh yeah, we all want to do good, but sometimes you really do just want to like punch your sibling in the face a little bit, right? So I don't mind that. Because the offense and defense competing against each other only makes all of us.
Yeah, it makes
look
both
better.
sides sharpens iron, and it makes both sides
Yeah, I just
better.
thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I can't really. I echo everything you said and agree. Much love to Clark Kent. By the way, Jason Ramford was 79 points on the Stream Boss. Now, I just want to quickly go through some of the players on their team, and I want to key in on some other players that we should probably talk about a little bit more. They're probably crying about this, but when you look at their quarterback, of course, Geno Smith, Drew Lock is the backup. They have running backs Kenneth Walker III, Zach Charbonnet, the rookie, who's been playing a lot more because Kenneth Walker has been injured the last game there. Tight end Noah Fant, Will Disley, those are the two tight ends they roll with. Receivers, of course, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and then rookie JSM, Jackson Smith and Java. So again, this is their main portion of their team. They also have Jake Bobo as a receiver there, D. Eskridge. But when you look at the offensive line, they got some ups and downs here because, again, center Evan Brown, formerly of the Detroit Lions there. Then left guard Damian Lewis, left tackle Charles Cross. We'll take a closer look at these guys. When you look to the right side, Phil Haynes and Stone Forsythe. So they're missing some guys right now. Talk about Lucas. Mm-hmm. He should be probably coming back, kind of a Hendershot situation. So he'll probably come in there and replace Stone Forsythe. Jason Peters also banged up. He's a backup right tackle there. Outside of Peters as a backup, everybody else are rookies. So they cannot afford to have any injuries there or any issues throughout this game at all because they will be a big drop-off. And they're not going to be that great at protecting the quarterback, but they may be better than some of the other ones we face when it comes to the offensive line. We'll discuss that later in the week. On defense, remember, they got Leonard Williams from the Giants. He's back on there as the 3-4 defense as a left end. Jaron Reed as a nose tackle. Mario Edwards Jr. as the other side edge rusher. And then, of course, they have a couple outside linebackers, Boye Mafe and Draymond Jones, along with interior linebackers, Jordan Brooks, Bobby Wagner. We all know Bobby Wagner back in Seattle now. So, again, they have. We're going to break them all down throughout this week. But, again, we talked about it yesterday. They're like 24th ranked when it comes to the defense. Safety, strong safety, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs at free safety, Reek Woolen as their cornerback, one of the better pick guys in the league, and Tyreek Woolen, I think that is, and then Devin Witherspoon at the nickel cornerback spot. We'll be breaking this down a lot more. I'm sorry, Trey Brown as the other cornerback. By the way, I do see I have a Michael Jackson, former Cowboy there. He's also one of the backups. He's a left backup cornerback there, left side backup. So they got Julian Love in the mix, who's somebody to watch for as well at free safety. We'll break it down here in a moment.
By the way, thank you, Malaysia. That's actually Mr. Eric Black. His phone's not working right now. He's like, I wasn't gonna miss this show. I had to be in here, so he's
awesome.
rocking the wifey's phone.
Very happy you made it in here with us, and appreciate you and your wife for letting you jump on here with that. Now, again, I want to just kind of finish up by saying about this quicker key, the Seattle key players. They were back to work like our Cowboys were. I think they had a stronger practice. We had a lighter practice, more jogging today for the Cowboys. Seahawks were back preparing for a second straight Thursday night game like we are. They're trying to bounce back from 2 consecutive losses. They've also lost 3 of their last 4 games. A lot of tears being shed. Here again, you have what Pete Carroll kind of said today about how they're trying to get back on track against the Cowboys. But right now they're walking around like they're like Seahawks with their heads chopped off. What did Pete Carroll say about this week's preparation for this game against our Cowboys?
He said it's a huge matchup for us coming up on Thursday. It's a big opportunity again against a team that is high-flying and rolling. They've been as hot as you can get. Having a great year with some really highlighted spotlight players on both sides of the football and in the kicking game. It's as tough as a matchup as we can get, and we have to step to it and take it on and make sure that we do everything we can to get it right. Can't miss this opportunity.
You know, the one thing I noticed and what Pete Carroll said a lot, opportunity coming up over and over again. They're trying to find this as an opportunity to take, maybe get back on track, and maybe, show out against a good team, which we are. No matter how you slice it, we're a good team.
Seattle
right?
is looking at this game in a very similar way that we're probably looking at that Eagles game coming up, in the sense that it's time for us to beat a good team. I think Seattle's in a similar position where they want to not just beat a team and get a good record, but they need to beat a good team. And
it's important to
keep in those discussions.
It's important for them to keep winning somehow because they've lost 3 out of the last 4 and they dropped. They were the kings of the West there halfway through the year. Now they're slipping at the 7th seed at the overall wild card race there. So he's the Carroll knows it. The Seahawks know it. And they got to get back on track. And again, it's not just for remember after this week we get the Eagles, they get the Niners. I mean that's basically your rivalries in your divisions that could decide a lot of things. So they really they got a tough schedule, Seattle, because they got the Seahawks after us. So they get the Eagles, the Seahawks get us, the Niners, and then the Eagles. That's their schedule. So that's pretty tough 3 weeks for them. The best 3 teams in the NFC. Anyways, the opportunity came up, guys, because a lot of times this is a Wednesday for them too, and he said again, Carroll knows that this is a huge test for the Seahawks. We've won 13 straight home games. The record, that current record, a modern record, right? Since I think 78 was the last time we got like this. Carroll knows it's a big hurdle here for them, and him and their coaching staff have a big job this week to get their Seattle team back on track. Again, after the Niners lost on Thanksgiving with Seattle, this will be the first time this season they have lost consecutive games, since back-to-back games, and again 3 out of the last 4 games. So Carroll knows it. Now, what about some of these players on this team? On offense, Geno Smith, quarterback, averaging 7.2 passing yards per attempt. That is 13th in the NFL. That's not bad, but obviously around the average mark. He's getting 235 yards per game, and he's completing about 65% of his passes, which is it's all right. But he's also, again, right now at 2,500, almost 2,600 yards, and 12 touchdowns, which is below average, I would say. Dak's got 23. He also has thrown 8 interceptions in 11 games. Dak's thrown 6. So Geno Smith will throw a couple picks. If you get pressure on him, we're going to break that situation down more tomorrow. Kenneth Walker III, like I said, has an injury situation going on. Somebody that, is their leading rusher. 613 rushing yards, leads the Seattle Seahawks. He also has 6 rushing touchdowns, which is actually better than Pollard. But he's also averaging 61.3 yards per game. That is not that much. I mean, that's like Pollard-like a little bit there.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 4.1 yards per carry, which in the NFL, for context, 21st. Not that good at running back. So quarterback, average. Running back, average.
Is there anything that's above average?
Well, yeah, Walker. Listen, Walker, the running back, Kenneth Walker III, has added 17 receptions. He gets about 1.7 receptions per game. He's also got 173 yards so far catching the ball, which is about averaging 17.3 yards per game. Only 1 receiving touchdown. He's been targeted only 23 times in their passing attacks. To me, another lacking point from the Seattle Seahawks. They're not able to get the ball really too often. 2 catches a game for their number 1 running back, 1 touchdown in the air. Not that great there. Now, you want to talk about great. They got the receivers. They got some damn good receivers, all 3 of them, let's be honest. DK Metcalf, though, still not as many touchdowns as DeRon Bland. Metcalf has recorded 678 receiving yards, so it's close to 700. He also has 3 touchdowns this year, 43 catches only. I mean, CeeDee Lamb blows them out the water when you look at those numbers, neck and neck like that. Not even close, or face to face. He was also targeted so far 80 times this year, only 43 catches for DK Metcalf. And Tyler Lockett, Very good stretch the field. Overall, veteran, savvy guy. Tyler Lockett has only 575 receiving yards, but also has 4 touchdowns. So he's one back on Deron Bland, while Metcalf has only 3 touchdowns. But Lockett has 54 catches, so the leading the team there, and getting 70, only one less target, 79 targets. He's doing more as far as catching the ball, while Metcalf, getting less catches, but he gets the bigger plays down the field. So you got to keep an eye on Metcalf for that side of things. Lockett, dangerous all over the field. But still, you get pressure on Geno Smith, and you should make them look like this. Very green. Now, when you talk to the Sea Chickens on defense.
Yeah, if your chicken's green, you got to throw it out.
Yeah,
remember?
The Green Sea Chickens. In 2023, Bobby Wagner, back now, he was with the Rams. Now he went back to the Seattle Seahawks. Bobby Wagner has amassed 113 tackles, which is insane already, guys. 5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks over these 11 games. These are crazy, massive numbers, and that's why I always said we should have brought him in here as a linebacker there instead of, let's say, LVE kind of mix there. But either way, Bobby Wagner, he's settled in there in Seattle. Even though he's older, what a great 113 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks as a linebacker, and over 11 games. You got to watch Bobby Wagner in the mix. He's one of their best players. Jordan Brooks, he has 3.5 sacks. That's 3rd on the Seahawks. And he also has 7 tackles for loss right now. 95 tackles playing on the defensive line there. I'm sorry, as a linebacker. He's an inside linebacker, Jordan Brooks. So, again, it's getting sacks. They're getting their sacks from their linebackers. Wagner and Brooks, both guys interior linebackers. So you got to watch out their linebacking core. It's solid, very good. Jordan Brooks, 7 tackles for loss, 95 tackles, and 1 interception. I'll get to the other guys in a minute. Because first, we got to drop maybe a $2 holler from Jalon Williams. Much love to you.
I appreciate you.
And
you know
Cowboys.
What he had to say?
What did he say?
I respect consistency. Live every night. And yes, guys, we are live
every night.
99.9% of the time.
We try.
Every single night. You can find us here at MyCowboysFamily, of course. You follow us on all social media. We always post there before we go live. Or just, the easier way of making sure you never miss a stream. Hit that notification bell. Set it to all notifications. If YouTube is being a little silly sometimes, then just think to yourself, I don't know if MCF, I don't know if I've seen them live. Are they live? And just go ahead and check because
you got Discord, you got Twitter.
Are or are about to be. So
there's multiple ways to check on that. Yeah, exactly. So
appreciate you. Much love.
Get Jalon on the board here. He's tied for 19th on our leaderboard. Tomorrow it resets. And we'll see who's going to try to take that down next week when it comes to that top spot. We'll get back to that in a minute. I just I don't know if you want me to. Again, I was going to say when it comes to going live every night next week. Of course, we have a 10-day break, so we'll probably take a day off here and there because
especially with Mr. MCF's birthday coming around the corner.
There you go.
So we might take an extra day off to celebrate that joyous occasion.
So we'll see. That's coming up next weekend. But we worried about the Seattle Sea Chickens right now. That's the team we got to focus on. So when you look at the defense, the last segments of the defense, look at Devon Witherspoon, who is their rookie nickel cornerback. He has 57 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He has 3 sacks already as a cornerback there, a slot corner, and 1 interception so far this year as a rookie. He is 5th on the Seahawks in tackles, so he gets the run support going. Devon Witherspoon is a guy, number 21. Keep your eyes on a key player on their defense. We'll talk more about him, I think, on Tuesday. Right? Tuesday we're going to talk more about him and break down, what he brings to the table there when it comes to their defense and their nickel cornerback. Because, CeeDee Lamb's always in the nickel. We always take advantage of that spot. Well, rookie Devon Witherspoon, is he going to be able to hang in there with CeeDee Lamb? I doubt it. We're going to investigate it, though, a little bit more. He got some nice numbers here as that slot corner, that nickel corner. And then last but not least, really he's a rotational backup, free safety behind Quandre Diggs, formerly of the Detroit Lions. He's their starting free safety. But Julian Love, pretty sure he's formerly of the Giants, if I recall. He's actually moving into a lot more. He's a backup, but he's rotational. He plays a lot. His stats include 1 interception, 70 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 6 passes defensed in 11 games. Starting sometimes in the rotation. We will have to investigate a little more on the guys like Julian Love and Jamal Adams at safety. So we're going to take a real deep look at this team the next 2 days and focus in on that offense, on their offense versus our big D. And, of course, after that, we're going to focus about our Texas Coast offense going against this little Seattle D. So,
exactly.
when you look at the stats, finishing this thing up, though, baby, when you look at these stats for the Seahawks, and just the Seahawks, I'm not going to even look at the Cowboys stats. We talked about the Cowboys stats. They rank 17th in offensive passing yards in the NFL. All right? That's below average. They rank 26th in rushing yards. That rookie Charbonnet and Kenneth Williams, they're going to have their work cut out against the Cowboy. Kenneth Walker, I'm sorry. They're going to have their work cut out against the Cowboy defense when they already don't really do a good job running the ball. Now, what about points scored? They're averaging 20.8 points per game. That's 16th. That's literally dead smack center of the league. Their average right there. It's scoring points. They're below average rushing offensively. They're at average at passing yards in the NFL. Now, what about their defense? Their passing yards against, they're allowing 230.7 passing yards per game. That is 21st in the NFL. Not very good. We should be able to take advantage of that, attack in the air by our offense.
I agree.
Rushing yards, they allow 118 yards per game. That's ranked 22nd in the NFL. So they're 21st and 22nd. 21st against the pass, 22nd against the run. So we can pick the way we want to destroy this team at home. And when it comes to their, they score 21 points, close to 21 points a game, 3 touchdowns. They allow almost 23 points per game, 22.6, and that is 22nd best in the NFL when it comes to defensive, stopping. When it comes to stopping the offenses, scoring points on their defense. So very beatable game. Even if they're a playoff team, even if they're 6-5 and they have a winning record, I don't think they're that good. And I think we are, just first glance, a little deeper dive in the key players. We are a team that should be able to handle these Sea Chickens. And again, let me reiterate this: in Dallas, where the crowd, the streak, the way we play is even elevated, in my opinion. And it's been doing that, in recent weeks, in recent years, let's be honest, at home. So it's been an advantage instead of a usual, not an advantage or a disadvantage. It's kind of like a break even. So now we actually have an advantage at home.
Now we actually do. Things have changed, right?
Yeah, and if we get and I'm not even thinking about it until now, but if we get this win, the next team up in Dallas, it's going to be Dallas next week, are the Eagles. We get 10 days. That's got to be something the Cowboys, home game or not, we got to take every advantage in that game as possible and defeat these birds, the Sea Chickens. We got to defeat the next birds coming up, the Eagles, and everybody else down the line after this. The Bills, the Dolphins, and on Lions, and on and on and on. So hit up the chat, baby. I did my little breakdown there of these Seattle Sea Chickens, and we will, get to, clearing the stream out and announcing some champions tonight.
Yes,
Snug X is going to run this thing away with it. Jason Renfro, he's got that stream boss. And you see the gifting championship side of things. Looks like Mary Alvarez is about to steal that from Jason and break that streak. So go ahead, baby. Hit up a couple comments, hit up a couple shout-outs, and we'll call it a night here in My Cowboys Family.
Of course. Thank you to, let me see, Pioneer, Anon, what's up, Clark motherfucking Kent, Malaysia, of course, Mr. Eric Black. We got Mater97. It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Esmodius in the house representing. Oh, yeah. Clark said, I kind of wish we would draft the Georgia tight end, but instead we got Shoemaker.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia tight end was right there for us. I think that he's at the Steelers now. I know we also had Osiris Torrance, who I saw with the Bills, and he looked pretty good most of that game. So he's having a good year, that left guard. So,
Yeah, so let me see. Mike Aldana, of course. We have Pioneer, Cowboys Fan God, Jalon Williams, Dustin Roberts. Just want to make sure I hit up everybody here in the chat. Eric Wallace. Hey, we'll have to see. Hopefully you're extra active this upcoming week here. We want to hear from you, right? D Webb in the house. Thank you for subbing it up, by the way. PPC Records. We have Jose Mendoza. Let me see. Of course, the man Snug X. Joey Cannoli. Kevin Bilbo. Wilson Santiago. Jason Renfro. Motor City Maniac. Akeem Sears. Double R. I know we had Skeptical Fan.
always staying skeptical.
Brandon James. Yeah, that's as far back as I can go. Let me come back down. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Mosh Man. Shout out to you, of course.
Mosh.
Clark, saying, I think Dan Quinn wants to move Bell back to safety also, because
Maybe,
one of the reasons that, and I've saw this a few times throughout the chat tonight, that basically, bringing in Leonard allows us to put Marquise Bell back where he can do the most good, because for a linebacker, he is definitely on the smaller side, doesn't have as much power side, so he's doing a great job, but we are still missing a little bit of something there.
Well, I'm gonna actually disagree.
I'm just letting you know.
No,
the general
I don't know.
Summation of some of the comments.
I don't know
in the chat.
if Dan Quinn wants to move him back or not. He may want to. I don't know if it's going to be this year. The point I'm trying to make here is that I agree with Leonard coming in there. It could help with having to maybe moving him maybe back to safety. But you know what? He's never played safety for the Cowboys, literally on the field. In a real starting kind of way. We have 3 guys there at linebacker. We don't have anybody there. I think that's the bigger issue. He's still better than Rashaan Evans. So he is going to be needed more at linebacker than at safety. And especially when you talk about Wanye Thomas, right? I mean, we run 2-3 safeties at most. We run 2-3 linebackers as well, and we have a lot less depth at linebackers. So to me, you still using and getting the most out of Marquise Bell. Now, what I do think can change is he can be moved around a little bit more as a viable weapon or a piece, kind of like a Donovan Wilson or a J-Ron Kearse in that hybrid linebacker scenario, more so than just linebacker scenario. You know what I mean? So I do agree he'll become more versatile if we get someone like Darius Leonard. But you guys are assuming Darius Leonard is going to be better than Marquise Bell. There's nothing to indicate that's going to be the plan. So, to me, it's almost like Marquise Bell is going to still have to start.
Well, Pioneer said at this pace, Bell's lack of size is going to greatly impact his health.
And I agree. And that's where we saw that injury.
We got to keep him alive.
We saw that injury. He had that shoulder neck stinger. Don't like to see that when it comes to Marquise Bell. And I agree. To keep him alive, you got to move him back into that hybrid J-Ron Kearse, Donovan Wilson role where you're floating that safety kind of into the box, helping run support, helping blitz, and helping the ability to stop the run. You see he's able to do all those things. If he's using the blitz, he'll be able to do that. But just not every single play, every single day, every single week, every single season. That's not he won't last. So yeah, right now this shows a lot what he's gonna be able to do as that hybrid J-Ron Kearse guy. And even though Wanye Thomas is doing a great job, I think he's more of a coverage guy than a run stopping guy, which Marquise Bell is. So you may see the Cowboys part ways with J-Ron Kearse after this year, is my opinion. As we got a couple of guys that can do that job, whether it's eventually Overshown, Marquise Bell now, you know what I'm saying? We'll have guys that can probably do that J-Ron Kearse job, like Wanye Thomas. We have 3 guys that can kind of make that role theirs. We'll see if the Cowboys go that way after this year with J-Ron Kearse. Although, again, he had a bad start to the season, Kearse. He's having a great, really overall time with the Cowboys by being a tight end stopper pretty much every single game, every single week, every single season he's been wearing that star with the Cowboys when it comes to J-Ron Kearse. But either way, the point is we got a nice amount of fantastic linebacker safety hybrids that Dan Quinn has created, developed, and got the best from them here in Dallas. Whether it's Kearse, Wilson, Bell, Thomas, we're good to go. We got 4 guys that can do that one job. We're in good shape there. So
I agree.
So yeah, we're gonna roll out of here in a couple of minutes. I do want to make sure that
remind everybody to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us again on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Big shout out to those in the house tonight that dropped the love: Snug X, Marissa Sparkle, Jason Renfro, Cowboys Mosh, Alanda Hanslu, Clark motherfucking Kent, and Jalon Williams. Appreciate every single one of you guys doing the thing here on MCF. Now, who are the winners for this week? Well, right now you see carrying it on to tomorrow. Jason Renfro, 77 Tyron Smith points on the Stream Boss. It's going to be tough to stop that, right? Much love to Jason Renfro. He's going to be going into tomorrow, a new week, with that board. Now, what about the king of the Cash App, Snug X? He's also the sponsor of the week. Will he go back-to-back in a repeat? The answer is yes. Snug X going to take that crown for another week, back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. Whether it's sponsor of the week, which is the overall board domination, much love to him. And Snug X also dominating the Cash App board, much love to him. I'll get to that gifting board in a moment. But first, Cowboys Mosh dropping that 1-2 J. Lou. Dollar holler in the house. What do you have to say, baby? The Mosh Man.
He said, give me a shout out, please, and thank you.
Hell yeah, of course.
Extra special shout out to the Mosh Man.
Of course. And hey, check it out. Sub it up to all his channels. get your jerseys from Cowboys Mosh. In the month of December, mid-December, we'll be doing another raffle for another jersey in that star and over everything level. And don't forget, probably by that Eagle game coming around the corner, Seattle Eagles, don't forget, they will be probably a fantastic a chance to win a couple more jerseys and other goods through the Lunatic raffle here coming around the corner here soon. Much love, Cowboys Mosh. Always go Cowboys. On that note, it is time to get on out of here for the night and also talk about who's going to get that crown on the gifting membership side. You know who it is. Jason Renfro, 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, comes in second place. In first place, star-level member Mary Alvarez. Congrats to her. Her first time getting that crown.
That's right.
As our membership gifting queen. Yes, much love, Mary. That starts tomorrow. Her reign begins tomorrow. And guys, thank you for rocking and dropping in here with us now, hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell. But baby, tell everybody why the hell we do this thing every single night like crazy Cowboy fans. Why do we do this each and every night here in My Cowboys Family?
Could it be because of that navy blue?
Uh-huh.
That silver too?
Hell yeah.
That star over everything?
Always. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here on My Cowboys Family, we rep that star over everything. And here on this channel on YouTube for 6+ years, here on My Cowboys Family, never ever forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond sooner than damn later. Coming up on 28 years, let's get that ring and things that we got to sing about, bring them out. Guys, thank you for coming out here with our family and dropping some of the knowledge in the chat all night long. Cannot do this without your back and forth on our Dallas Cowboy team. And of course, again, much love to those that drop the love from above, whether it's super chats or cash apps or gifting memberships. Anyway, thank you all guys, humbled by the best fan base of all of YouTube. On that note, though, it is time to get on out of here for the night and drop out for the night and clock out of here for the night. Relock and reload a whole new week tomorrow. Kicking it off here on My Cowboys Family. So maybe before we can officially drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh yeah. Hey, I love when that beat drops. Thank you all for dropping in here with us, giving us your 2 cents on our wonderful Dallas Cowboys team. And also here on this Cowboys chat, it is officially a wrap. Another one in the books, and yes, a lot to discuss. Darius Leonard, question mark. Will he be a Cowboy repping that star? We'll see in the next 1, 2, or 3 days when he should be in here before or by Wednesday for the workout. We'll keep you up to date on that here in My Cowboys Family. Of course, that offense with Brandon Cooks ready for those sea chickens. And of course, on the other side of the screen, you're seeing Kavante Turpin getting hotter in this McCarthy offense. McCarthy implementing his mind on things. Don't forget, Defensive Player of the Year candidate Deron Bland, making it look easy. Done pick 5, 6s, and 7s. With those pick 6s 5 times, will they go more? We'll see. Here on MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever, ever forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even them haters. Much love to all. Here on this channel, on this stream tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Keep growing the thing. And of course, hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live. Follow us on X and all social media at My Cowboys Family. And join that Discord. On that note, stay safe, everyone. Much love to all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for a new day, a new week. Continuing the streak. You know how it goes. Much love, guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.